I would love to welcome to the stage a few of these remarkable clients who can share with us some of the incredible things they are doing to successfully compete and provide a world-class user experience. Join me in welcoming Don Brummett from ORNL Federal Credit Union, James Hilton from Mountain America Credit Union, Chad Rogers from Connexus Credit Union, and Melissa Schenkel from Star Financial Bank. All right, let me get myself situated here. Okay. Thank you for being here, everyone. In the spirit of collab, we are so excited to have some of these amazing, inspiring clients with us to talk about their strategies. And so what's really wonderful, I think, too, is we have representation from some of our longest-term clients, as well as one of our newest members of the Alkami client community. So just to start off with, could I ask each of you to please introduce yourselves? Dawn, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Dawn Brummett. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for ORNL Federal Credit Union.
And James Hilton with Mountain America. I work in our member solutions group, focused on our digital banking and some of our telephony self-service items for our membership.
Chad Rogers with Connexus Credit Union, Executive Vice President, Chief Operating Officer, and one of Alkami's first 10 clients. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us at that point.
And I'm Melissa Schenkel with Star Financial Bank, and I lead the marketing team.
All right. Let's jump right in. So just to get started, we are finally back together again. It's so great. And hopefully what we've all been through and what has transpired in the past few years is behind us. I would love to start with just a conversation about customer service and what that looks like today, because we do know that it has evolved and changed so rapidly. James maybe is one of our longer-term clients on the panel. I'd love to start with you. How does Mountain America define and measure member experience, and then what are you doing to ensure that you're meeting consumer and small business expectations?
That's a great question. Thank you. We've actually, I was going to start with Stephen promised a neck hug at the virtual event, and I've yet to receive that. So that's one way to I think measure is some of those connections that we have both in person and virtually as well. But we measure 5 really key metrics at the top of the house, right? Those are net new members, net new checking, ROA, which are critical, probably fairly standard. We also do product per accounts, which we're hitting about 6.3 products per account. This is a significant measure for us. We look at traditional products, your cards, checking, money market, certificates, as well as digital products. Our members using our alerts, right, that we provide to them. What's the benefit that we're providing there? Our mobile and online activity, mobile deposits, our business users, things that they're using in those. These all drive specific behaviors within our organization, really from the front line to the back office. And are we providing the experience needed? There's incentives, there's things so that as members are interacting with our team members, they're able to see what maybe if a member doesn't have alerts and what are the tools so they can set those up and the values and the benefits that those can provide our membership. We also measure rescued loans is what we call them. Most of them happen in the branches and in our service center. And this is really our members' ability to assess our members' needs, assist them, and a lot of education through that process. It's something where a member comes in maybe to a branch or calls our service center, and they're not necessarily seeking a loan, right? We're able to identify some of their financial needs, maybe what they're struggling with, maybe a loan that's at a very high rate. I was recently at a branch in one of our Orem offices where an individual came in, 75% rate on an $800 loan, right? We were able to help them and understand that pain that he was feeling and some of the, maybe some cash flow problems he was having. And so, and it's not about really consolidating or really growing that way. It's really a focus and effort on members and the member in front of us, that very specific personalized service to that person in front of us. Last year we ended just under $1 billion, $900 million in these type of loans, and that progresses, that the storytelling that comes from that service, that loans, those very specific things are important to us. That also leads to our NPS scores, which Mary mentioned as well, which are very critical. We measure NPS across our organization. a lot of SAT scores across the organizations. Our member solutions, like this in-person service, we're about mid-80s, 83, 84, fluctuates between there of our NPS scores. Our SAT scores are 96%, 95, 96%, with some specific measurements. And I just have a little bit of a note. Is something that I was listening to on a scale of 1 to 10, 9.6. Quality of advice that I was giving, 9.4, 9.5. When I worked with this person, again, 9.7. So a lot of great interactions that we're having across our organization, specifically probably in these lending and these counseling and these guidance. We certainly need to bridge that. Our digital NPS is right at low 70s, 72, 73, and we fluctuated between there. That's grown 10, 15 points over the past couple of years with Alkami, who's worked to improve and enhance some of those experience, adding some of those features. But certainly an opportunity for us to bridge some of those focuses. That person I was excited to hear, I think Alex mentioned it on the stage, the breakout with open banking, with the insights that are coming, right? So that we can bridge and maybe bring some of that personalized, unique experience that we have within our branches and that in-person experience to the digital space. Right now we transact quite a bit. We have 90% of our transactions happening, the movement of money, the checking of balances, those are occurring within our digital space very efficiently, effectively. Lending is about 10% in our digital space, and so there's an opportunity for us to improve some of that experience. But
yeah, that was amazing. Thank you for that. That was incredibly comprehensive answer. Thank you. Chad, anything you want? No, it was good.
maybe too wordy.
What he
That was
said.
great.
You know,
Chad, anything you'd like to add to that?
I'll tell you what. This is why lineup is so important on a panel. You do not want to have to follow a guy like James.
No, that's not true.
That's
why I went first.
I want tickets to the cage match between Stephen Bohannon and James. I just.
Where's Steve? Where's Steve?
You know, first of all, Mountain America, just a phenomenal organization, and you know, just to kind of piggyback off of what James was talking about. Firm believer that you get what you inspect, not always what you expect. So we do monitor things very closely as well. And you know, one of the observations that came on for us, because we implemented in 2014. We immediately started, you know, kind of developing that digital strategy that you were talking about, Mary, a few minutes ago. And so we started looking at just some simple user stats, and one of them was looking at our website. And we found that some pretty startling statistics, probably not that dissimilar to many of you. About 90% of the traffic coming to our website only stayed on our page for about 10 seconds. And our homepage was the spot everybody was going to. So all of that collateral that we work so hard, you know, to put out there in front of our members and our prospective members, they don't see it. And we're like, well, where are they going? Well, they're logging into their digital banking off your homepage, and they're going into the app. So that was an aha moment for us. And then what we realized as we looked into it more is that, boy, we have all these people going into our digital banking application, and then once they're in there, we force them out of the application to go back to our website to complete a form, to look at rate tables, maybe read a blog, complete a loan app. And the light bulb went on, right? And we were like, this has to fundamentally change. Instead of forcing people to the place we want them to go because that's the way it's always been done, what if we took all that website content and moved it inside of the digital banking platform? Put it in the place where people want to transact anyway. And not only that, put them in a place that's authenticated, where you can talk to them one-on-one, you can do secure messaging, they feel safe. So from that perspective, you know, that kind of launched another whole omni-channel strategy for us to start doing more with SDK, as well as a few other items, which, you know, we may or may not have a chance to get into with some other questions here.
Great. Thanks, Chad. You know, given Chad's glowing commentary, James, why don't we come back to you now? So, you know, Mountain America has really led the charge in terms of SDK adoption. Can you share with the audience, you know, some of what you've been doing and how that has empowered your teams?
Yeah, absolutely. Going back many years when we selected Alkami or was evaluating Alkami, part of the ability to customize and be able to do things ourselves on the platform was important, as well as Alkami's full suite of products and features and their trusted roadmap, which they've been doing very well at. But we still needed the need to maybe if we didn't align on a feature, or we wanted to partner with a fintech or do some custom development in-house, the ability to deploy those products. We've worked with, over the years, we've launched Credit Lock, working with Experian, right, and other credit bureaus for members to be able to lock there. So bridging through widgets in our SSO services using the SDK. To do that, recently implemented a partner for our quick payments, for loan payments outside of MACU into our loan. And also some custom development. A great example is our balance payoff that we built. This started from that rescued loans and really working to build some efficiencies within our branch and in our service center. Often as these loans, and we're paying off other institutions, they were cashier's checks that were being created. We may get an address wrong. We may wait till the end of the day because of just the pain they are for our frontline teams to be able to produce these checks and send them out. We were able to build on top of our bill pay directory, right, a service, a front end for our front end team to be able to quickly do that in line with the lending process. Those checks are now automated, right? Most 90% go out electronically. If they are checks, they're cut by the bill pay service. And recently we extended that to our front end self-service digital products as well, using the SDK. So our teams, our development teams, our product teams are able to take things that we built, gained efficiencies in products, and be able to custom build them and extend them to our membership. Now when we do a marketing campaign for balance transfer for a Visa, for example, members are able to sign up for that, easily move their balance over, and also easily process the payment back to that FI. So I think great extendability of the app, and we'll continue to invest and build these kind of products.
That's great. Thank you so much. Why don't we move on to our next topic? So I would love to start with our newest client in the panel, Dawn. Dawn is a couple weeks away from her launch. So I feel like, given what I just said, I should ask, how is your blood pressure?
Yeah, I was thinking that as you were saying that earlier. It's like, right now it's great. Ask me next week.
No.
Next week we'll take that again, yeah.
Well, I think you're looking remarkably relaxed. So thank you for being here, actually. I think it's a sign even that you're on stage with us. So, the team at ORNL has just a fantastic vision for where you're headed, along with just a really broad digital strategy. I'd love for you to share with the audience what you're most excited about as you enter into this partnership, and then why some of the investments that you're making and some of the fintech partners are so key to where you're headed.
Okay, happy to. Well, first, just overall excited about the partnership with Alkami and being here over the past few days and hearing the different presenters and attending the breakout sessions and speaking with the group out here and those that are around me just further reinforces that we've made the right decision to go with Alkami. And we selected Alkami because there's a very close alignment with where Alkami is headed directionally and where we want to be. And it's no surprise probably to you that our fastest growing channel is digital, and members are just so unforgiving of a bad digital experience. They expect for you to get it right, and what they expect is based on their digital lives everywhere. And that's where Alkami comes in for us, and we're very proud to partner with Alkami. And the investment and the looking forward, we looked last year, we had over $7 million going out of our institution for Bitcoin purchases. And as we were looking for a vendor, we wanted to partner with someone that was looking ahead and saying, hey, how can we help institutions take their members where they want to be, and how can you be a part of that? And we are excited to roll out NYDIG as part of our relationship when we go live here in a couple of weeks. And that is exciting. It will also probably cause my blood pressure to increase a little bit as we get there. We are also rolling out the new app, so that's a lot to start with, and an impressive layout for our members, so we're really excited about that. One of the back-end features, and this is where I'll stop, I promise.
No, keep going.
One of the back-end features that we are really excited about, and I'm sure you are experiencing this as well, is fraud trends have changed so much over the years, and especially when you look at that digital platform and how that fraud is being executed. Just becomes more complex. It seems every day. There's bad guys trying to get your members to give you information, and our members will give it to them, unfortunately. We know that, and that is why we are so happy to be partnering with BioCatch as part of this release as well. That behavioral metric, I think, is going to be very important and will be a game changer for our members and for our teams. Hopefully we can spend time on the important things, assisting members driving forward new features, and less time on the back end trying to work through the fraud and the issues that we are experiencing. So we've got a lot going on. We'll go live here in a couple of weeks. I'm among great company. I've enjoyed meeting everyone that I've had an opportunity to, and just really looking forward to what this partnership will do for our membership.
That's great. We're excited along with you. Maybe sticking a little bit with the topic of implementation, Melissa, STAR, as you launched, and then even since, you've done some really great things leveraging the marketing capabilities of the platform and really focusing on digital self-service, which is an important thing for all of our institutions to focus on. Can you share a little bit about what you've been doing?
Sure. So at STAR, we were really focused on a marketing campaign, as you mentioned, that was self-service focused digitally, because everyone in this room knows that it costs a lot more for our customers to visit a branch than it does to digitally self-serve. And so one of the specific elements we leveraged as part of this campaign was the Alkami Activate team helped us create a video for remote deposit capture. And we leveraged that in the app. We worked with Jill and her team at Alkami to focus on targeting customers who, one, had never made a remote deposit capture. And secondly, customers who maybe had tried to make a remote deposit capture, but it had failed, so it hadn't gone through. And in working on that list, that propensity list, we looked with the team and we decided that there were about 15,000 customers we could target using a how-to video on how to remote deposit capture and targeting it in the Alkami app. We targeted it for a couple of months, and over that time, it had 13,000 impressions. It had 2,000 people click through and watch the video. And the really great thing is it had about 14% of that 15,000 actually create and do a remote deposit capture, creating about $900,000, almost $1 million in funds from just that first time deposit capture. So it was pretty exciting to really see how that can continue to grow, because that $900,000 for that first deposit is going to continue to grow, because once you make one deposit capture, they're all going to make another and another. And so it makes our customers really sticky and less likely to look for another financial institution.
Those outcome metrics are amazing. It's like, great job to you and the team. I'm going to stick with you, given that we want to hear more metrics from you. Sure. So you're also doing some amazing things from a cross-selling perspective, which is another priority for many of our institutions. Can you talk a little bit about what you're doing there?
So I can. The cross-sell has been so important to us because so much research shows that many of us are focused on new customer acquisition and not as much on cross-sell. And when the Alkami app was implemented, when we went live with Alkami, the app and online banking, I was so excited because for the first time ever, we could target customers like the big banks do, like the Starbucks of the world do, that we all as smaller institutions didn't have those capabilities to do. And so we used the app in order to target, specifically one of our campaigns was the HELOC campaign. So we looked at customers who had a mortgage but didn't necessarily have a home equity line of credit. And so we targeted all those customers for, I don't remember the time frame, but maybe about a month or so in our app. And the great thing about targeting in the app is twofold. One, if you send them an email, they can unsubscribe. You target them in the app, they can't unsubscribe. So I don't have all these unsubscribes coming through. Secondly, we targeted them in the app, and we had, I don't remember how many in total, I'm forgetting my numbers here, but we had 2,500 customers click they were interested. And while all of them didn't necessarily apply online, we were able to turn those customer names over to our banking team, and they were able to either send personal emails or call them and follow up. So in essence, we were creating leads. They may have been our customers, but we were creating leads of customers who we knew were interested in the product.
Oh, that's amazing. I would say if you have any questions after about that, talk to Melissa. She's really leveraging the platform. Similarly, Chad, actually Connexus has really leveraged the platform as well. And you have really gone all in on data and marketing. But one of the things I love that you really do is you focus on ROI. So can you talk a little bit about your efforts there?
Sure, yeah, I'd be happy to. So not to bury the headline, I think one of the most notable statistics for us is that within the first 5 months of the year, we will generate enough interest income off of the loans obtained through the digital banking channel to pay for our entire platform costs for the year. So when you look at that, that is every marketer's dream, right? You're no longer viewed as a cost center, you're a revenue center, and Alkami has allowed us to do that. And a couple of pieces came into play in order to make that happen. Organizationally, we made a shift when we signed on with Alkami that the digital banking experience would be an extension of the marketing team. Historically, it wasn't. And that partnership with a rock star digital banking team, thank you, digital banking team at Connexus, got to say that, is really noteworthy because what we're finding in the digital banking channel is that we have about 20% of our loan funding happens right through that channel. They don't need to leave. If you remember, we're not taking them to our website anymore. They're staying in the channel. We get our highest conversion rates, typically hovering around 30 to 34% of the applications that we get are the best apps are the ones that come through our digital banking. Why? Arguably, they are our most loyal members. They are our most active and engaged members. And there's stats out there. If you remember, checking used to be the indicator of who your PFI members are, right? I would argue that your digital banking users are that new KPI on who your PFI members are. They have a choice. There's a lot of digital banking platforms out there, but if they choose to use you, then that's about as deep as loyalty seems to go these days. The other piece that I would just throw out there is when we talk about bringing that content into the digital banking platform from your website, if you're able to do it. When we were looking for our partner, which ultimately ended up being Alkami, Alkami was the only one that offered configurable space to be able to do that. All the other applications, you could move money from checking to savings and RDC and bill pay and all that, but they didn't give you the place to play as a financial institution and customize that environment to do the types of things that you want to do. So, we're putting blog articles in there, right? We're trying to create that engagement. When they're in there, we want them to transact, but we also want them to learn. We want them to see all the things, and that's first move advantage, right? That's where your interstitials and your display ads and all of those things are now making more sense for those folks. We're target marketing through Content Manager. Thank you, Brad. Plug for Brad Cranford. We are in a place where we can use that data so that we present those products that are most meaningful to our members. You don't want to present an auto loan banner to a member that's logging into digital banking and already has an auto loan. Or if you do, you want that to be their next car, right? So the power of data is really phenomenal in that space. And the last thing I'll say, in terms of the main differentiators between Alkami and the other folks in the field that we saw was the SDK. And I'd be remiss if I didn't, say a few words. Bob Vandehey, Michael, Sam, love you guys. When we started our journey in 2014, it wasn't until 2017 or 2018 where we finally said, let's try this SDK thing. And it was a game changer for us. Right? It allowed us, if you think the client community here is strong and vibrant, kind of like a good bold cup of coffee, get in with that SDK developer community. That's like a shot of espresso. And they are tight, they're passionate, they're super smart, and they have helped us grow to be able to take a lot of the platform capabilities that are available to all of us through Alkami and really customize them to help meet the needs of our unique financial institution members. So for all those reasons, we're definitely very happy with where we're at with Alkami.
So you're saying we can improve our lending in the digital space?
I'm telling you what, there's a lot of opportunity, but I don't want to get in the statistics war with you, because I'm not sure I'd come out on the right end of that
I
one.
got to start plugging people more.
Yeah, right. In marketing, we say don't ruin a good story with fact. So we just kind of steer clear of all that.
So true, so true.
Can we have favorites of your metrics? Because mine was certainly that you've paid for the platform.
Well, and that is the shining star, right? And each year, that payment is realized sooner and sooner, right? You got more people on that platform. Your conversion rates typically tend to creep up. Number of apps creep up. The more looks you get, the more hits you get, right? So, hopefully, maybe end of January we'll have bragging rights to say we're already paid for the year.
Chad Rogers, the more looks you get, the more hits you get.
Out of all that, that's the quote that's going to stick, right? Got to be known for something, I guess.
So let's shift gears a little bit and just talk about what is a fairly hot topic in our industry, which is M&A, mergers and acquisitions. So Chad, I'm going to come back to you for this one just because Connexus has so much experience acquiring other and merging with other institutions. Can you talk a little bit, though, within that about how you're leveraging your digital strategy as you're completing the M&A activity and then how that is helping to fuel growth for Connexus?
Yeah, so just to set the stage, since we joined Alkami in 2014, we've done 4 mergers, and we're in the middle of our 5th right now. And just some context, when I started with the company in 2013, we were about $450 million in assets, and today we're $4.5 billion. Mergers have been a significant part of our business strategy. And what you kind of forget about when you do a merger is that's like implementation, digital banking implementation all over again, right? So I tell people we've implemented with Alkami 5 times. After the first implementation in 2014, I'm not so sure that would excite me, right? But Dawn, have no fear. The last one was, you saw the little blip in your call center for a week, maybe 6 days as the incoming institution, was getting onto your platform. But that's just another business partner accolade that we have is we know that Alkami has our back, right? We can confidently move forward in welcoming another credit union or bank into our institution, and know that when it comes time for one of the most hair-raising, deals with digital banking and bill pay and all of that the project team, your team, has that completely taken care of. And we wanted a partner in this space. We wanted somebody that was a consulting partner that could help us navigate those waters and put us in a great position. And that's where we're at. So very, very grateful that that element of bringing in new institutions is now a capability at Alkami.
Great. All right, so this is our final question, and I think we probably have enough time to hear from each of you. So there are so many exciting advancements in digital technologies. Can you pick just one piece of advice that you would give to our audience members about how to get the most out of their digital banking experience? And Dawn, why don't we start with you?
Yeah, I think I would just stick with the basics of continuously challenge yourself and your team, and as leaders within our organizations, I think challenge one another to look forward and look at what the future of digital is going to be and where we want to be part of it, and always make sure that we're thinking about being part of it.
All right. Melissa, how about you?
So there's a quote that I live by, that I live every day in and out by, and it's from author Regina Brett, and she says, "Everyone is either your teacher or your student, and most people are both." And I think that pertains so well here in digital banking as well, because you're continually listening to your customers and to your coworkers and to your team, and then you're continually changing and adjusting. So it doesn't stay static. It's continually changing, listening, repeating, teaching. It's a continuous circle.
All right. James, how about you next?
Yeah, I think that's great. I think these comments are right. Paying attention to the future, understanding what's coming, understanding the market, competition, what the big banks are doing, right? What are we able to do and leverage? But I also think it's getting back to some of the basics, as Don mentioned, right? There's been, feels like since I've been at MACU, it's been this feature race, right? How many options can we give? How many things can we provide to our membership? But when those 90% of our activity is transactions, it's balance checking, it's those type of things, making sure a bill is paid, it's being able to look at a statement, right, or get my tax documents so I can complete those. It's removing friction, I think, from those experiences as a member comes in. And to your point, right, I don't want to be blasted with an auto loan when I just got one last month with you, right? So providing real-time, relevant information, personal touches to that, but also getting really the ease of moving that money either out to a utility or within Mountain America.
Chad, final thoughts?
Yeah, for me it's easy. Invest in what will get you exponential gains. When I talked about SDK, you can purchase SDK, but who's going to use it, right? So we went out and we found just phenomenal talent, and we don't have an army. We have one dedicated SDK developer looking for another. We have exceptional UX designers. We have a service manager that manages, the tickets that come in and manages the CCRs. We have a rockstar digital banking manager and somebody that oversees digital services, which helps combine web and digital banking. But this was a pivotal point for us in our organization when we went and said, we need some bodies and we need to overinvest here because this is where we're going. You can't treat this as a hobby, right? You got to be as intentional with your investment for where you want to be, what your brand needs to look like in a digital space. So you got to be big, you got to be bold. Sometimes those are tough discussions, but the ROI is there. And then if you look at it from the flip side, what's the alternative if you don't, right? So I would say, yeah, invest in what's going to get you exponential gains.
All right. Well, thank you to so much for all of you for your incredible insights and your partnership in your business. We're lucky to count you as members of the remarkable client community. And with that, we're going to head into right about a 20-minute break or so. So we'll see you after the break. Thanks, everyone.